So here's an update in the BMW. So just a few points to clarify. When we were taking this off at first, I pointed down here and I said this was like an oil sensor. Well, it's not an oil sensor, it's exhaust gas pressure sensor. But the reason I thought that, there was that much oil coming out the thing. So that's one thing to note. So this repair has never actually went ahead because we went into the oil filter and we found little metal particles. So the thing is uneconomical to repair because if you put a new turbo on this, it would just go right through it and destroy and damage it. The other thing is the DPF had oil in it as well, so I think the time for this lump is over. Funnily enough, right enough, we checked the oil pressure on it. We've got our oil gauge there, and actually when it's running at idle it's 3.5 bar, but I think there's been too much internal damage done. We reckon the oil must be getting past the piston rings and burning it, so I'm afraid it's the end of the line for this one. Anyway, we learnt a thing or two along the way. Cheers! There's a telltale sign. Fairy dust. Maybe fairy dust, but it's not a good sign in a car. So that was the death of that engine. BMW N47. Notoriously bad. If that doesn't happen, we can guarantee the timing chain will fall off. So we really did think it was over till I spoke to an independent BMW mechanic, and he says no. He says these are quite robust, these engines. He says, what's your pressure? And I says it's at 3.5 bar. He says, well, that's good. He says what you have to do is get rid of the DPF, get the turbo off and just run it, he said, and clear out the intercooler. So that's what we done, and the oil actually started to clear. But a telltale sign is, see that exhaust gas pressure hole? It still kept coming out of there. So, but it did eventually clear, which was unbelievable. So we then decided to go ahead with the repair, but oh boy, this was painful. So this is us at this BMW, and when you do this job you must remove the intercooler because this is a spludge that just came out. So we were perplexed with this motor to say the least, because we started it up and the amount of reek and everything, and we thought it was a goner, but we've kept running it, and oh my goodness. So obviously the turbo just dumped its entire stomach into that intercooler, because we had found shavings in the filter of the lot and we thought this was good as gone, but we got a good bit of advice from a BMW independent mechanic. He said just run it, it should be good. We're happy, Roddy?
Aye. Never Kent.
This has been a horrendous job.
Kent, that's where it's coming from.
There you go, so you must do the intercooler. I'll piece this video together. I don't know how it'll turn out, but it's Friday night, we've been at it the full week. Cheers. So here we go, part 2. So Roddy went through the turbo, guys. No, we got this delivered actually this morning. So that's a new turbo, we're trying to offer that back up. But we'll have another story for the DPF. So yesterday I showed you this stuff, but we did not end up using it. So what we were advised, we spoke to the turbo guys and they said bring the DPF through to us, because if it's had oil in it, it's going to be painful to get clean if you can get it clean. So Roddy took it through today and they cleaned it and it still wasn't good enough, so they said to us there was still oil in it, so it's getting another process overnight and we have to get it back tomorrow. So the oil contamination was far too much for that WINS off-car DPF cleaner. So we're getting this done professionally, so there's no point doing half measures here. So I've never used this WINS yet, so I can't show you how effective it is actually. So it's a bit, we've got to offer the gasket up, then we've got to get our oil feed pipe on, and what else was it, Roddy? Oh, get the pipe on at the back that I showed you yesterday, the rubber pipe, the return pipe. So it's a bit of this and a bit of that, so once I've done the job we'll show you. Right, so here's the progress. The DPF is back, it's been cleaned by the turbo guys. It needed 2 treatments, Roddy.
2 treatments.
And because it was full of oil, but we said we'd lost 2.5 litres of oil, so done the right thing there. last night doing this job, putting this turbo on, the best advice I can give you is don't do the job. So the bracket underneath that turbo I showed you earlier on, loosen, well obviously the bottom bolt attaches to the turbo, but the other two bolts attached to the block, loosen these off first, then offer the turbo up, and see the pipe underneath, the return pipe, put that on first with your Jubilee clips, then do the top. But before you do the top, see the oil feed pipe into the turbo, you must put that on the bench before you attempt to put that on the car. It will not go on. So you disconnect that down here, I think that's where the oil feed pipe comes in, so you must put that on with new washers. What else, Roddy?
Just tilt it up on top of it.
That's right.
Top of the frame.
That's right, we tilted it, and then once we're loosened that bracket, well, we're good to go. I think that's the major points of the whole thing. We ended up buying a new clamp for the exhaust.
They were murder getting them.
They were.
3 bolts.
It's a two-man job.
Aye.
There is no way you can do this yourself, because you're trying to offer up the turbo to get these bolts in.
And the gasket's upside down.
And the gasket's moving about, and oh dear, we spent quite a while actually. Worse, it was easier taking it off than putting it back on. And Roddy got a new clamp for the exhaust with a new gasket, so that's the state of play. If there's any other points I can think of, I'll tell you. Cheers. So that's just going into the return pipe for the turbo. So we're using a borescope, so you can see that there. And then take it to the up, the borescope up. So there you go, you can see the inner workings of the engine there. So there's no blockage there either, but we'd already checked that anyway, so just to make sure. And come back out, Roddy, out there. There you go.